Hello and a very warm welcome to Mr. Gerald Krausser, the head of Communication Protocol and Cultural Affairs. It is a pleasure to have you with us today for the interactive and informative discussion at the podcast organized by the Faculty of Humanities and the Media Center at the Formantv Christian College, a chartered university. I'm delighted to engage in this conversation, which offers a valuable opportunity to explore insights on cultural diplomacy, discussion on bilateral relations, and sharing perspectives on current affairs. Your expertise, contributions, and leadership is highly regarded, and we look forward to gaining your unique perspective. Thank you for taking time to join us. How are you today, sir?
I'm very well. I'm very happy to be here at FCCU University and very happy to do this interview with you, Farah.
All right. So we are going to ask you a few questions, depending upon the foreign policy and government cultural ties, education and academic diplomacy, bilateral relations, and political aspects. So starting off with the foreign policy, my first question would be that how has Germany's foreign policy evolved in response to recent geopolitical challenges, such as the war in Ukraine or shifting alliances within the European Union?
I think that the war in Ukraine was a big wake-up call for many Europeans, including partially for us. I think after the peaceful reunification of Germany, after the fall of communism, after what we consider to be somehow a reunification of Europe, we were hoping to live off what we call the peace dividends for many years. And so we did. And I think we were very eager to have good relations, not only with our Western allies, but also with Russia and others. So we were very often even accused of that among other Western countries. And, we try to always stay in dialogue and remain committed to diplomacy. Once tanks start rolling, then we are also in danger. And if Ukraine were to fall, which, we want to prevent the Russians from doing, but if Ukraine were to fall, then automatically there would be a whole threat to the rest of Europe. And so we are not only supporting Ukraine for moral reasons that are there, or not, as some in Pakistan at some point suggested, because we are doing what the Americans are telling us. I mean, right now, I would say that you can see that it's not coming from the Americans, it's coming from ourselves. This is about our national security, and that is why we are putting more money in our defense. That is why we are putting more money in our infrastructure, and that's why we shifted our stance. And that I would say that there has been a big shift, and we've called it such. So that's how I would describe it.
The current situation, the current affairs, and the war situation that is going on. So what would you say that, is it a call for World War III? If, these wars are happening and we are going through a very difficult time all around the world. So what is your insight about it?
No, I think nobody's calling for, or at least we are certainly not calling for World War III. And we are aware of risks. I mean, if you look at Ukraine, we are not a party in this war. Even though we give support to Ukraine, but we are aware of the risks, and we are, wherever nuclear weapons are even potentially involved, we are very much in favor of, not going too far. And for example, we were also very concerned 1 month ago when the escalation between India and Pakistan started, and we certainly want, de-escalation to prevail. But there's just a point where we can not let somebody like the Russian president do whatever he likes in Europe and get away with it. So we certainly will continue supporting the Ukraine.
All right. My next question would be that to what extent Does Germany balances its commitments to NATO and the European Union with its strategic interests globally, particularly in Asia and Africa?
Well, I think it's important you do both. I mean, geography is something you cannot change. We are a European country. We are a country that is in the sphere of the North Atlantic. And so both the European Union and NATO are our most important anchors when it comes to our position in the world. But that does not mean that we have forgotten about the rest of the world. I mean, Germany has a very long history in interacting and also giving support to countries all over what is now being called the global South. So we are very concerned by developments. We are also looking at opportunities, at chances, at countries getting out of poverty, new business possibilities emerging. So, frankly, we have a very close look, and we are also aware that there are different perspectives, that some problems that we have might not be as close to heart to others, and vice versa. But we have embassies around the world. We have our politicians. I mean, okay, the new government has just started, but the politicians of the last government, and I'm sure the new government will do the same, traveling through the world, meeting partners. And certainly for us, the world is much more than Europe or NATO. We're very aware of that. And it is very important for us to get perspectives from countries and from partners all over the globe.
Okay, so talking about the cultural and governmental ties, talking about the scholarships, what role do German cultural institutions abroad, such as the Goethe Institute or DAD, play in advancing Germany's soft power?
Well, I think that they have a very important role. I mean, Goethe Institute is our first partner when it comes to both promoting German culture and German language abroad. So for a lot of young Pakistanis, this is the go-to place, be it to, go for a language course or at least do the language test, because only the Goethe tests are recognized in Pakistan. So even if you do your course at another school, you will still do your exam with Goethe. And DAD, of course, is very important when it comes to academic exchange, the scholarship program, but really beyond that, because they do a lot of counseling. They give a lot of advice when it comes to the question what you can do, how you can start the process if you want to study in Germany. And that process is, of course, not always easy and not always self-explaining, but they're doing a great job at that. They have not only their website, but they do individual or group counseling, and they even have a YouTube channel in Urdu that explains a lot of the most important things you need to know when you want to go and study in Germany. We have other institutions such as the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, AVH, that is really looking at recruiting the most excellent scientists all over the world. And I'm very proud to say that there's quite a number of them from Pakistan, both currently in Germany and also alumni. And they have created a great network of scientists that we can rely on when it comes to furthering and promoting scientific exchange. For example, yesterday I was at the Agricultural University of Faisalabad, and there we have Dr. Saqib, who is who is teaching at this university, but who is also a fellow of the AVH, and who, for example, brought some scientific machines, some measurement machines to his university that the students there are now benefiting of. But it goes beyond that. I mean, it's the whole people to people, university to university connection. Very often, Pakistani actors come towards us as the embassy, and they tell us, sometimes rather vaguely, I'm afraid, oh, we want to do something with Germany. We have to do more cooperation. And I mean, I know that some countries are very much into government to government, even when it comes to culture. I mean, they will bring, I don't know, some folklore group from their country, and they will have a presentation here, and then that is already people to people for them when it's really government to government. But for us, we see how, for example, individual professors, assistant professors who lecture, who have been to Germany, German professors visiting here, same with artists, same goes for musicians, how that really creates an added value that government can never create.
Right. So, as so many students are watching you right now, and we have Formanites and other students from different universities. So, could you, explain about any relevant department or a person, or who can, the students can connect with and get the information regarding the scholarship in detail, so that they can, get the insight and all the requirements and an easier process to understand the process of applying. So
for university students who want to go to Germany, be it for a bachelor, well, probably not for a bachelor, but for a master's, for a PhD program, even for postdoc, the go-to place is DAAD, DAAD. It means German Academic Exchange Service. They are present in Islamabad. They have a German Pakistani director, Mrs. Yasmin Paracha, who has been very dedicated to this. And as I said, they have a YouTube channel, they have a website, and they also do counseling. So they are really the go-to place for every Pakistani university student who wants to pursue his studies in Germany.
My last question would be that how does Germany's federal structure influence its foreign cultural and educational policy formulation and implementation?
It makes it more complicated, but it also makes it sometimes more productive in the sense that our regions are sometimes closer to our Länder, we call it. It's our provinces, you could say, if you wanted to translate it into the Pakistani system. So our provinces have been they're closer to the individual universities, to their needs, and so sometimes they can also see potential that we as a federal government don't see immediately. But of course, the most important is that there be a good collaboration between federal and provincial authorities. It's not always perfect. Same goes for Pakistan. I know that sometimes, provincial governments tell you, oh, why did you ask the federal government? We can tell you about this. We have that. We have this, and the other way around. So we have the same thing. So in a way, that is actually quite a similarity between Germany and Pakistan. It can sometimes happen that, they do something that we don't know of. The other day we had a very, like a wonderful German artist, Dagmar Rauwald. She made an exhibition at the PNCA in Islamabad, and it was a beautiful exhibition, and we learned of it. And then obviously there was a great exchange, but that is, for example, an example that it can happen that she had sponsoring from the city-state of Hamburg in the north of Germany. It's our most important port, and it's also a province. And they did not inform us beforehand. In the end, it all went well. But, this is an example of how sometimes in federalism, the information gets lost. But then at the same time, I have to say, I don't think that anybody from the federal government would have had the idea of sponsoring this artist because she is there in Hamburg. And so perhaps, they don't know about her. So if it had not been for the federalism, we perhaps would never have had that particular artist visiting Pakistan and doing a great exhibition at PNCA. So it's hard to say, because the inconvenient can be the problem at this. The inconvenient can be the advantage at the same time. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Jan Gerald Krausser, for your precious time and your perspective regarding the political insights and scholarships and the current affairs. We are delighted to have you, and it has been a great conversation. So, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Farah.
This is Farah John signing off. Thank you.